Okay, next one, Superman versus the Elite. Not one of my favourites, to be honest with you. It's quite good to see a Mancunian villain there, Manchester Black. And the book is, I think it's called something like What's So Funny About Truth, Justice and the American Way, something like that. But they've called it Superman versus the Elite for the film. And it's basically, the basic crux of it is there's a new group of heroes called the Elite. They have like a no-holds-barred mentality to fighting crime, you know, take no prisoners, whereas Superman's values are a bit more traditional and a bit more fair, and he's at odds with them. It leads to a showdown, obviously, between the two, between Superman and them. Not a brilliant film, to be honest with you. It's not one I particularly enjoyed, or it's worth it just to see Superman beating up the Mank lad, you know. Yeah, it gives him, he batters in pure times. It's okay, not one I'd watch again. Now this next one is a two-parter, Batman The Dark Knight Returns Part 1 and Part 2. Surely I don't need to go into detail about what The Dark Knight Returns book is about. Anyone who's even read a comic book should know what that is about. If they don't, more fool them. My favourite comic book of all time, classic Frank Miller, and very good film adaptation. It's the only one of these films where they've done it over 2 parts to date. So they do manage to fit a lot more of the book in. They capture the dark tone, hence the 15 rated certificate. Really well done. Peter Weller does a good voice of Batman in this. He plays this sort of weathered old Bruce Wayne really well in it. Can't say enough good things about these 2 films. Really well done. You know, I thought a book like that would be kind of impossible to adapt as an animated film, but they do a good job with it. Really good job. And it's well worth a watch. If you can get hold of these 2 together, then do it. Don't even think about it, just buy them. Next, Superman Unbound. What can I say? Superman against Brainiac, fighting each other next. The Flashpoint Paradox, or Le Paradoxe Flashpoint, featuring La Ligue des Justiciers. This is obviously a French steelbook I bought off eBay. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant this. Obviously based on the Flashpoint book, not the version of Flashpoint that they did in the Flash TV show. That was a very watered down, quite poor version. This is the book of Flashpoint, which basically encompasses the whole DC universe, and obviously they're going to apparently use this as the basis for the Flash film, as announced at Comic-Con. If they can pull that off and do it exactly the same as this is, or the book is, then wow, that'll be something worth watching. Really good film adaptation of it as well, extremely action-packed and violent. Fantastic version of Thomas Wayne as Batman. For those who haven't read the book or seen the film, not going to spoil it in massive detail, but honestly it's really well worth watching. A really fantastic version of the DC universe. Really well done, and this is a really good film to watch. They do a really good job with it. Next is Justice League War, based on the New 52 Justice League origin. It's basically the birth of the Justice League. Action galore in this one. Basically Darkseid invades Earth with his army of parademons, and the Justice League have to come together and stop them. So it's the first time they've ever met each other. Well worth watching just to see them fight each other before they put the differences aside and fight the villains. So you get to see Batman fight the Green Lantern and Batman and the Flash. Obviously Superman beats down all 3 of them. And then obviously they see the error of their ways and team up with each other, but it's really good. Some differences to the book. For instance, Shazam is part of the lineup in here, whereas it's Aquaman in the book. But a good version of it, and the last fight, the action, that's really well done, really well drawn. Really good watch. I'd recommend this one. So, you know, the more casual fan can enjoy this one. Really, you don't have to have any prior knowledge to jump in and just watch it for what it is. Next, Son of Batman, clues in the title, based on the Batman and Son book. It's the introduction of Damian Wayne to these animated films. For those who aren't familiar, it's Bruce Wayne's son Damian, who he had with Talia al Ghul, daughter of Ra's al Ghul. He obviously never knew she was with child until this young boy gets dropped off at his door, and he's basically been raised from birth to fight for the League of Assassins and succeed his grandfather one day. So he's a pretty messed up child, and obviously it's down to Batman to show him a better way. Good film, very violent, quite gory as well, hence the 15 certificate. Good appearance from Deathstroke in there as well. Yeah, good watch. Again, quite different from the source material, but they still make it a very enjoyable 80 minutes of viewing. Next we have Batman Assault on Arkham. Basically it's a Suicide Squad film. They've just put Batman's name on it, I think, to sell more copies. It's a Suicide Squad story. Basically you've got your classic Suicide Squad members, very similar to the film that came out last year. They're brought together by Amanda Waller to break into Arkham Asylum to take down the Riddler, who's up to nefarious activities. And Batman's in it all the way through, but he's more of a peripheral figure. He drops in and out with the story. It's a Suicide Squad film in all but name. And good, very good. Again, 15 rated for strong bloody violence, not one for the kids. Really good. If you enjoyed the Suicide Squad film, which I did, I thought it was excellent, despite a lot of people not doing, then you'll enjoy this. Very enjoyable, good voice work in it, and very action-packed. Next we have Justice League Throne of Atlantis. This is a sequel to the Justice League War that we just looked at. New 52 again. It's Aquaman's story. His brother, Orm, Ocean Master, if you will, is basically taking on the surface world, and it's up to Aquaman to join with the Justice League and his wife Mera, there she is, as they stop his brother. It's okay, it's not a classic. Again, good action in it, and you know, a good action-packed story. Next, Batman versus Robin. Clues in the title there, you can see Batman and his son Damian coming to blows. Basically, Robin is has his head turned by the Court of Owls to sort of follow a darker path, which brings him into conflict with his father. Hence, father and son fisticuffs. Very good film, actually, this one. It was better than I thought it'd be. I wasn't particularly looking forward to this one, but they do it justice. Good action sequences again. Good to see Batman and Robin fighting each other. You don't see that very often. Yeah, worth a watch. Next one is Justice League Gods and Monsters. This is like an alternative universe look at the Justice League. Different versions of the characters. Superman is the son of Zod rather than the son of Jor-El. When he lands on Earth, he's raised by sort of Mexican immigrants in America. As the son of Zod, he has a slightly sort of more cruel streak than the son of Jor-El. Batman is Kirk Langstrom. The Man-Bat here is like a vampire character, and Wonder Woman is a daughter of Apocalypse. I forget the character's name now off the top of my head, but they're very different versions of those three. So they sort of form a three-person Justice League, and they are good, but they're sort of, again, they have unchecked power, so they're dark heroes, if you will. They're not the sort of selfless versions that most people would associate with the characters. There's a darker twist on it. Quite enjoyable as a one-shot kind of deal. Next we have Batman Bad Blood. Not one I'm particularly enamoured with, really. Sort of Batman gets taken out, presumed dead, so it's up to the extended Bat family, if you will, to save the day, try and rescue him from his prison. So Batman's not in it that much, actually. He's just in it at the start and at the end. It's okay. Next one, Justice League versus Teen Titans. Clues in the title. Basically, Raven from the Teen Titans, her father, Trigon, turns the Justice League evil, as you do. And the Teen Titans have to fight the Justice League to stop them. I'm not a big fan of this one. It's quite childish in a way. Most people would think they're all childish, but there you go. It's probably aimed at a younger audience. I wasn't a big fan. A waste of an opportunity, I think, with that one. Next, Batman the Killing Joke. obviously one of the all-time classic books, really well respected Alan Moore book from the 80s. A very short book, so they obviously had to add a lot to the storyline to make up an 80-minute film. So there's this whole 20-minute prologue that's very not even in the book at all, and features a really bizarre sort of love story between Batman and Batgirl, which is kind of weird. Other than that, it's quite faithful to the book. Very adult material in this one. They do quite a good job. Mark Hamill does a very good voice of the Joker in this one, as he always has done. Good performance. I probably built this one up too much in my mind to be, going to be a fantastic film. It wasn't quite that. It's worth a watch, but if you're a hardcore fan of The Killing Joke, you'd probably enjoy it, but never really want to watch it again. That's kind of my take on it anyway. Next, Justice League Dark. Clues in the title, it's the Justice League Dark, John Constantine, Deadman, Zatanna, Swamp Thing and Etrigan the Demon. Batman basically recruits them to help fight some magic villain. It's okay, it's not as good as the Justice League New 52 comics, but it's got some good humour in it at least, quite gory as well, so it's a bit of a dark one again. Don't let your kids watch it. It's not your traditional superhero film. Yeah, okay, not brilliant, but worth a watch. The guy who plays Constantine in it is the same guy who played him in the live-action TV show that didn't last long, and also cropped up in Arrow as well for a guest spot. Lastly is Teen Titans: A Judas Contract, based on the book of the same name. Quite a good rendition of it, of the book. Basically, it's Deathstroke taking on the Teen Titans. He sends a sort of mole into the Teen Titans Terror, who is in a very sort of inappropriate, unage-appropriate relationship with Deathstroke in this, which is kind of a weird thing to see on the big screen, although it is hinted at in the book as well. Anyone who's a fan of Kevin Smith, he crops up in this playing himself in a couple of scenes, which is quite funny, quite a meta reference, I suppose, to the outside world. Yeah, quite a good watch actually. It's a better version of the Teen Titans than it was in the Justice League versus Teen Titans. This is a bit more of a fake, does it more justice to the characters, I think. Worth a watch. And that's the last one to release that's been released so far. So the next one is out in a couple of weeks, Batman and Harley Quinn. The only other one that's been released on Blu-ray is this one, which is only a short film, Superman Shazam: The Return of Black Adam. It's like a 20-odd minute short film. And it's basically Superman meets Shazam, and the two of them take on Black Adam. It's just a 20-odd minute action sequence, not full of plot, but full of action. And hopefully one day we'll see that on the big screen. Obviously Superman exists on the big screen. The Rock is going to play Black Adam, and they are pressing ahead with the Shazam film, so hopefully we'll see something like that on the big screen. Okay, and that's all the films to date. We'll have a look at some more as they come out. Alright then, thank you.